this. Check 1 2 1 2 check. I can hear something there. Check 1 2 1 2 check. You hear there? You see what I'm saying? Beyond the lunar shadow. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, what more possibly could happen to black people? What could possibly happen that has not happened to them before? What is there left to do to the to black people? What's left? Now you'll have people say, well, we suffered as well. We were slaves too. Yeah. You see? What more can happen to the black man, the black woman, the black child? When the people say, enough's enough now. No, that's a step too far. because it seems we would just take anything. We seem to be the only race of people on this planet that have accepted what has happened to us in the past, and no matter the horror of what happened, we're still coming back for more. You see, and I'm saying we. You know, it's them. Yeah, you have to start to say it's them. You got to take yourself away from your own brother and sister to say, but hold on. If I can see it, okay, and if I can look into look at my life, okay, if I look at my own life, I don't have to look at no one else. I'm looking at my own and see it, and I think to myself, but hold on, no, no, no. That, you know, it does take it does take whether it be chance encounters, whether to be chosen. And I know what I'm saying here. The majority of my black brothers and sisters will probably say he's talking rubbish. Yeah, he's talking rubbish. And if I look at history, they've done the same thing to Marcus Garvey. Now, if you're doing something, right? If you're doing something and you're not progressing, there's no progress. The thing that should come to mind is to change. Repeating your mistakes over and over and over again. That's not someone thinking straight. The show is called The Shadow. Was it the hold on? Beyond the Lunar Shadow. I even forgot my own title. You see? And sometimes I dread doing these things, you know. Why? You know why I dread? Because I know what my people are like, you know. You try and tell them, right? You try to tell them that what they're doing now is not working. They turn on you. When I watch Malcolm X film, and when I see you see Malcolm X stand up there, Denzel Washington starring, and they start to pump the bullets into Malcolm X, you know. Your own brother and your own, I tell you, your own brother will shoot you down like a yellow belly dog. That's what they were saying in the westerns. Like a yellow belly dog. Nah, they keep repeating their mistakes. Now, hear the mistakes now. Here's a question. Right? Whichever religion that you believe in as a black person, yeah, you got black skin, right, and you believe you have joined a religion, yeah, or you join a cult or whatever you joined. Now, I would like you to explain to me, right, where is the progress? Where has where has it improved black people standing? It's tumbleweeds, you know. It's tumbleweeds, mate. They can pick any one of them, anyone they want. You see? Let me give him a little hand. Where's my other phone? Right. Let's start with the Abrahamic. Yeah. Let's start with the Christian. Let's start with the Muslim. Let's start with the Hebrew. When you look at all those three religions that I just said, who is at the top of those religions? You know, when you look, when you look, you can clearly see that that is not black. Cannot be a black man god. They're following the wrong one. You see, because how has it improved one's life as a black person? You see, they can't even admit it. You see, and I go back to my first, what I was saying, the first part. What more can happen to the black man and the black woman and the black child? What more could happen that has not already happened? And if that happened to any other race of people on this planet, right? They never forget. They never forget, you know. Yet still, the black man has suffered more than anyone else, right? Then you have the other races, right? You know, every one of the races look down on the black man. It's an unfortunate truth. It's unfortunate. Every one of them. And when I look at every person, right? Hold on, where did I put one sec? Oh dear. What have I done? When I look at every other race of people, yeah, they look down on us, right? Now the one second there, right? You see, so let's say for an example, yeah, the white man is at the top, yeah, for an example, right? And he don't like no one else, yeah. He doesn't like no one else. Yet still, he would stand there and watch other races look down on the black man. You have every other race, you see, the Chinese, the Asian, the Arabs, the Jewish, right? They all suffer as well, you know. They suffer. But one thing I see what they do, they don't forget what happened to them. And yet still the black man has suffered more. No one has in recorded history has suffered. Right? Has suffered like that. And yet still they're still repeating the same formula. Yeah. So when I look at the Christian, when you look at the Christian um, religion, is the white man is at the top of that one, you know. When you look at the Hindu, is the Asian man at the top? When you look at the Muslim, is the Arab man at the top, you know? The Arab. When you look at the Hebrew, you don't see the Jews at the top of that one. Yet still, the black man has joined all three of those and still managed to be at the bottom. And it seems like they will not say, hold on, you don't see we're at the bottom of the pack, the card pack. They're at the bottom of the totem pole. Well, I really, and it's not that I don't know, you know. You see, it's not that I don't know, but I still ask that question. All right, I still ask that question. What is it? Where has the improvements been since joining any of those three religions? They call something a generational curse. You see, you have a generational curse, and then a generation must come to break it. You see, now that fall on my shoulders at this precise time. It falls on the eye shoulders. You see, to say, hold on, no, 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 no. So you mean all that time I was an altar boy? I was at Sunday school. I grew up hearing my grandmother speaking about Lord Jesus. You must behave well, Jane, or you'd be going to hell. Santa Claus. Huh. What? And look, I mean, in some ways, I give thanks to my parents. I could never come and disrespect my parents like that. I couldn't. I couldn't. It's as if they didn't know any better. But if I go back and thinking of my family, and I think, when did this start? Yeah, when did this start? And all those prayers, all that worship, all the wailing and gnashing of teeth. Where has it taken the black people? It's obvious that the black people are following a God that is not theirs. Where's my phone? There it is. Where is the improvement? For an example, if Christianity was the God of the black people, wouldn't the black people be alongside the top people, the white people? Wouldn't they? So how come the God that they're serving enriches others, and there is no enrichment for the black man? Where has it improved? Where is the improvement? you look at the Christian. I would say it's the Catholic Church is at the top. They're at the top. And the last time I looked, I see that they're white people. So that means that that is, that's their God, isn't it? It's working for them. That's why they're on top. The Arab, the Muslim. You can clearly see who's at the top and who's at the bottom. The Hebrew. I can't see the improvements, and then repeating mistakes is only someone insane would repeat such things, or someone is not well. You have a habit and you can't stop the habit. You're unwell. The habit is not making your life any better. It's making your life worse. Yet still you still have the habit and care not to change the habit until the habit destroys you. And again, other races do follow these religions, but not like the black people. Not no no. The black people are the worship worship the white man God more than the white man the white man don't do it. They take their money that they have and give it over. They'll hand it right over. They don't even have to ask. They just shake the collection pan 2 times, and you see hand dipping in the pockets, deep. Where's the change? And they don't want to bring out the change because they're looking next door and someone's got a dollar bill, a pound note. Huh? So they have to drop something. You see what I mean? Name me one black country that says that they're a Christian nation. Where is the improvement? Where are they? How has it improved their life? You'll be looking for a very long time. Yet still, the black people refuse to give up the habit. They refuse to change. Sometimes I can't even sleep. I think to myself, well, how? What is going on here? Why? And I know the answers. You see, you see, I know the answers. Huh. But I still ask myself why. You know, because I used to be that person. And I can see the improvements by knowing certain things, like to say, black people are serving a God that is not theirs. If it was their God, they would be flourishing. Yet still, the God that they claim to be their savior allows them to be at the bottom of every religious, every Abrahamic, every every one of them. Show me one black man at the top of a Christian. Show me one black man at the top of Islam. Show me one black man the top of the in the Hebrew. I say, hold on, Jade Nupu, you're wrong there. You're wrong there, my friend. And they will present it, and I go, ah, huh, tell you, I'm waiting to go, there it is, ah, I was wrong. Huh. If they put Christian, any religion, in the search engine and see what the first image pop up, and that would tell you who is who is seen as being that. you know and then there's many things that are said in these books that reveals things, like, for an example, don't serve any other god but me. So to someone using sound right reason, we'll go, hold on, but that means that there's not just one. If the God of the Bible is saying, do not serve any other God but me, you see, I wouldn't even know what exact scripture that is. You see, let me have a look. It says it in there. Well, that tell you, right? And then you have so many great black people that come along, and they themselves join these organizations. They themselves, majority majority. Now that doesn't take away any of their thunder. Don't get me wrong. But could you imagine how great they could have been, if they were serving their own God? if every race have their god, they're at the top of their religion, they are flourishing, and you are not. Can you imagine if you channeled into your God? Huh. You see, I was having a look at some things here. Yeah. So, the scripture. Okay, let me get that scripture up. Not any other God but me. You see, and you know, all the wrestlers were telling you these things, you know. And I remember when I was a kid, I think, what was he talking about? You know what I mean? They say these things. They say, well, look, they say, look at that part. You know, there's many parts in the Bible, right? So hold on, what has this come up with the right? The which part of the Bible is that? So what I put in, do not serve any other God but me. And the reply is this fundamental command, often expressed as shalt have no other gods before me, is a foundational pillar of strictly monotheistic religions, most notably Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. You see, now look at the Chinese. Is it Mao? Huh. Remember the English was in China, you know. Yeah, they went over to China right after the experiment and perfected the art of the K word. Yeah, right. After they perfected, it's over 400 or how many maybe more than that. How they perfect, how to destroy a people, right? How to destroy a people, and those same people, right? After what they done to our people, yeah, they still will say will serve the God that put them in that in such in such places. Isn't it in Ghana? Huh? That the place of no return where they cage people under cage them up like animals, okay? And above where the cage is, that was where the church was. And look what they done with it. Look how their God enriched them. No, I always said, so I said to myself, hold on, so the Chinese and Mao, right? China is a warlord place. Warlords used to run parts of China, like most of the places, right? When they build the Great Wall of China to keep out the Mongols, Genghis Khan. So the Chinese man don't. Wouldn't it be Buddhism, or wouldn't it be no religion at all? So tell me something. Have we not seen the improvement of the Chinese people? I think we've witnessing it. I think we've witnessed it, and it's fair to say there is hope without religion. Not that people haven't tried, you see, but people will defend their way of life. They will rather die. Another people, that the Afghanistan people. Now I might go into a film. You see what I mean? I go into a film. You see, because a lot of my things that I learned as a is through films I watch, and I say, hold on, you know, Rambo, John Rambo, Sylvester Stallone. I think he went to Afghanistan, and I'm sure someone said in the film that they won't change. You know, you don't see them now. You will never change the way that these people are. Another people is the Iranians. Just by looking at history, I said, but I wouldn't, you know what I mean? I wouldn't go mucking about with these sort of people. The Iranians, the Persians. Have you not seen them in the films? The Persians? Yeah, you lot can talk with, I don't know what kind of language them talking. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you laugh. Huh. Right, all I know, I don't go to other people's country and talk my own language. That's all I know. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so you can stay there laughing. You can stop laughing now. Huh. Not funny now, is it? Huh. Okay. You see, you can't change these people, but yet still the black man, and they've not suffered like how the black man suffered, and they've suffered. You see, I'm not putting sufferation more than any because you understand. But let's be clear. Let's be clear about something. As we're looking at people suffering in recorded history, right? Not hidden. You see, these people write down what they done. They recorded it. Now, other people. Now we can see, for an example, China. Look what they've done to China. China was on its knees. Remember, China isolated themselves for how many thousands of years? Yeah, that's why they built the Great Wall of China, also to keep out the Mongols, but also to keep their people in, to not let anyone else come inside and come and mess up what they're dealing with. Now look where they are now. They are now challenging the religious order. It's a clear challenge for the spot of global supreme. It's fair to say, look like the 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 European, yeah, the white man, time finish, and Chinese are running things now. So if those people never allow religion, and look what they have accomplished, and the black man is serving the white man God, the Arab man God, the Jewish man God, and nothing is going on for him. And no, there is no urgency to change. No urgency at all. It's a sad state of affairs, to be honest. You know, it's a sad state of affairs. And you're reminded of excellence of black people. Look, of all people, right? Don't get me wrong. Everyone have greatness. What I'm saying is, the archaeologists look at the pyramids in Egypt, and they as much as they got their scientists and their what's not, they don't know how the pyramids were built. You'll find the Europeans look at that as a master, and the man on the continent don't even don't business what that you understand. Don't see it. Don't see that as anything of a spectacle. You see, these things are a spectacle. They remind you every now and again when you watch. What's that? Is the Aliens? I like that one. The guy with the frizzly hair. The ancient aliens. Yeah, you see them. You see Egypt is always in. Is always in there. I mean, honestly, even in the book, you know, the word. I think the country is Ethiopia is mentioned in the Bible. Yeah, He's mentioned Moses. He sailed down the Nile, and the last time I checked where the Nile was, I mean honestly, no matter what, no matter what happens to, no matter what suffering, because I mean, you can't imagine the horrors. You know, what one cannot imagine such horrors. You see, it really takes someone heartless to look at such things and go, "Oh, well, you know," or make a joke of it, or turn around and tell you that, "Oh, but we were slaves as well." Huh. Well, I'll tell you what. The last time I looked around, right, I see the black man at the bottom of it. When you look at poor people across the world, right, you got some poor people in all Asia, right, South America, Europe, America, right, and then they will show you disturbing images of Africa. You know, disturbing. The fly go. I tell you, man, I cry. The fly go. People starving. Now that said, if a black man took his black body, yeah, my black bottom, if I took myself and went to any of them places that like in India, Asia, then, yeah, Asia, we talk about poverty, South America, and I come, they look down on me, you know, just by the color of my skin. How is that possible? You see, it become possible because when people are repeating mistakes, you see, they're not well, can't break the habit, they're hooked, and every other race, right, will say to themselves, "We don't want to be like them." That's what they will say in their own language. Them, DEM, them, them. Why I just sit back and I go, my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So where has the improvement? Where? I can't. I can't see it. Where's my phone? I did have some reading to say. I don't know what I'm going to read here now. Because what's the time on this? I don't know what time. Okay, let me carry on. I don't know. I don't like to go too long, you know. So let's have a look at the for an example. Yeah, right. Who are we? Well, you know. where are our prayers going to? You know. Let's go to my notes. Um, so what did I ask? Um, all right. Okay. So we have something here, yeah. So I've asked the question: sun power. Ah, explore relates to moon power, gods of the moon. Use noon science, yeah, noon to explore differences and examples. So now bear with me with what I put in there because I didn't load up my references. So I'm just going to give you what come up. I have nothing to hide. You see what I'm saying? The contrast between solar and lunar symbolism offers a vivid framework for exploring physical, spiritual, and systemic power. Across ancient traditions, these forces represented distinct cosmic functions, while modern critical scholarship examines how religious frameworks have influenced the material trajectory of black communities worldwide. The bloody computer's talking to me here, right? Solar energy versus lunar power in ancient mythologies. Solar and lunar principles represent opposite yet complementary modes of power and natural phenomena. Solar archetypes, active, generative, outward principle, radiation, growth, heat, visibility, and direct action. Solar power drives photosynthesis, daylight, and physical energy systems. Now, for me, photosynthesis, it just shows it, it just shows the magic of sun. We're comparing the sun and the moon. Okay. Now, examples: Re, Aten, ancient Kemet, Egypt, symbolizing the absolute life force and light. You also have Lisa, Fon mythology of Dahomey, representing the solar, masculine, daylight aspect of creation. The lunar deities, reflective, cyclic, cyclic, cyclical, intuitive, principle, reflection, tides, subtle energy, measurement of time, and the subconscious, and and the subconsciousness, subconscious, yeah. Lunar power does not generate its own light; it reflects solar radiance. Examples: Thoth and Khonsu, ancient Kemet. Thoth governs wisdom, writing, and the lunar cycle. Khonsu represents the moon's transit and timekeeping. We also have Mawu, from the Fon mythology, the lunar cool nocturnal deity paired with the solar Lisa to balance creation. We have another example here, Yamoja, Nana Buluku, Yoruba, West African traditions, often tied to water coolness, fertility, and deep oceanic lunar rhythms. So I also have historical critiques of religion and material progress. Scholars, historians, and Pan African thinkers such as Henrik Clark, Amos Wilson, and Cheikh Anta Diop have long analysed how dogmatic adherence to imported or heavily structured religious doctrines affected the global black diaspora. Passive expectations versus material action. Over reliance on spiritual intervention, waiting for divine deliverance, often displaced the focus on tangible economic, political, and scientific infrastructure. Extraction of wealth, resources that could fund community institutions, technological development, or land acquisition have frequently been concentrated into religious organizations without generating returning capital or self sufficiency. Ideological alignment, historical adoption of doctrines designed to enforce obedience or external authority weakened strategic self determination and sovereign power. Doing something different, practical path to sovereignty. Shifting from passive reliance to active self directed progress requires focusing on material, technological, and economic foundations. We have literal solar technological sovereignty, investing in renewable energy infrastructure, solar microgrids, agricultural tech to control energy independence and local production rather than depending on external utilities. STEM and industrial education, building institutions centered on engineering, AI, biotech, spatial sciences to create real world leverage in global markets. Economic and institutional ownership, establishing community owned capital funds, cooperative land trusts, and supply chains network that circulate wealth internally. Empirical pragmatism, replacing speculative dogma with data driven decision making where actions are measured by tangible, verifiable outcomes in community health, safety, and wealth. Now, these are just words. Without any action, it's just words. Words in the wind. Absolutely useless, if not used. So I did load up the nature books inside, right, right, and it did make a mistake by saying that someone was the author who was not the author. We won't go there right now, but it has been corrected. So you've got nature books and cosmology, yeah, the 9 principles: nature, right nature, the living, self-correcting organisms of the universe, alignment with natural law over speculative or supernatural dogma, cosmic balance, sun physics, interacting with natural cycles, planetary intelligence, and atmospheric dynamics. Biomimicry and earth science, drawing operational models directly from natural systems, but botany, hydrology, magnetism, solar radiation, to build sustainable infrastructure. We have Afro-Unu, Afrocentric origins, grounding history, science, and genetics in the original African Kemetic root, rather than modern Eurocentric frameworks. Reclaiming original consciousness, intuitive intelligence, and high level alignment with organic order. Restoring original language, symbols, and cosmological understandings to undo generational indoctrination. I have not read this yet, you know. So everything I said before is off the what I tell you, right? Now let me stop right there, okay? Because I'm not reading directly from the book, and I don't want to misquote anything, okay? Right? And I mean, this book is The Nature of Nature, yeah, right, by Afro Unu, Noon Science, the original sciences, you know. Now, I did put something in that I think is quite interesting. I did put my name in, yeah, Jade Nupu, yeah, mineral gemstones, right? But I'm gonna do a show with tar, and it says here Jade, Jade, yeah, that's my name, Jade, right? Right, right. So J stands for justify, argue, defend, and explain. Well, I'll tell you what, that summed me right up, right? And obviously Nupu, my nine reason. Let, let's move on. There's a one part here. Okay. Okay, so I could have done it from here. Okay, all right. Well, what I put in, all right, I want to share something, right? I put this in. Sun animals versus moon animals. Okay, so animals that are in some way have are more towards the sun and who are more to the moon. Yeah. So it says to explore sun animals versus moon animals without anyone. I'll compare two actual bear species whose name reflect this celestial duality. And I never heard of these bears before, you know. Now hear this now. So two of the most prominent examples of animals with sun and moon names are the sun bear and the moon bear. The moon bear is the Asiatic black bear. It doesn't say where the bear is. Yeah? So the sun bear, right? We're comparing two, yeah, a sun bear and a moon bear. So the sun bear is smallest bear species, yeah, and the moon bear is a medium-sized bear, much larger than the sun bear. The sun bear is short and glossy black fur, flat chest with an orange, white, or cream colored U shape, crescent, or semicircle marking, named after the rising sun. The moon bear is dense black fur, a distinctive large white V shaped marking on its chest, often called a crescent moon. You see, right? I just want to drop that one in there, right? You can look at that for yourself, right? So we have mythological and cultural symbols, yeah? Sun animals associated with day heat, golden colors, authority. The lion, known as a symbol of the sun's power, royalty, and authority in many African, European, and Asian cultures, due to its golden mane, which resembles a sun's corona. A rooster, I quite like this one. An animal strongly tied to the morning, as its crowing signals the dawn and the rising sun. Sacred to sun gods like Helios in Greek mythology. And I don't, if anyone has ever lived in a tropical country or a country where they have chickens, you'll be sleeping and all of a sudden you would hear this loud crowing from the rooster, and you wake up and you look outside and it's still dark. You know, it looks dark, but if you look up at the sky, you can see a slight difference, just a slight change, and it never misses a time, and he ain't got no clock. The rooster. Now you have the eagle hawk associated with the sun's high perch and all-seeing gaze. Many sun gods, like the Egyptian Ra, were depicted with the head of a hawk or a falcon. Horses, in many Indo-European mythologies, fiery horses were said to pull the sun chariot across the sky. Examples in Greek and Norse myths. So that would be one to see in Odyssey. Yeah. Right. Apparently people are learning Greek now because of Odyssey, the new film that is out now. I haven't seen it yet. Now this is a quite interesting one. When I saw this, I thought, what? The scarab beetle. Yes, the dung beetle. In ancient Egypt, the movement of a scarab pushing a ball of dung symbolized the movement of the sun across the sky, steered by the god Khepri. Now, that dung beetle, if that dung beetle doesn't do his work, it's an extraordinary thing when you see it. Okay, just a small little insect, and it's pushing something that's a lot bigger than its size, and they roll it up so neat. You see, so sometimes in ancient times people were observing things. They see these things and say, look at that look, and it reminded them of the sun. Ancient Egypt. Yeah. So you have moon animals. Now this is quite interesting, right? The rabbit hare, a major figure in East Asian folklore, China, Japan, and Korea, and Aztec mythology. The moon rabbit is often said to be pounding an elixir of life or herbs on the moon's surface. Now look here, the moon, yeah? The wolf, the coyote, associated with howling at the moon. The howling is often linked with nocturnal instincts, guardianship, and deep spiritual connection. The owl. Have you ever seen that? Have you seen an owl? Huh. Well, I tell you, I've seen one in real life, and I said, boy, the size of those birds, you know, you would think you saw a ghost or something. Saw a pure white one in Jamaica, and I thought, what is that? I could see something, and dark night. I'm walking home, and I'm going, what is that? It's not moon. It's not moonlight, so it's very dark in Jamaica where the moon is not there. It's pitch black, and when the moon is there, you can see where you're walking. It reflects everything, and it's a dark night, and I'm looking, and this bright white figure sitting on top of the electrical pole. And I'm walking, I'm thinking, for some reason, my mind's like, what is that? Instantly, m- my attention is focused on it. I can't take my eyes off this thing. I'm thinking, what is that? And I'm getting closer and closer and closer until I've passed it and walked up. And all of a sudden, I've heard it was like someone had a piece of cardboard behind me and was fanning like a breeze, ever so gentle. And when I look up, I see this owl, a pure white owl in Jamaica, with his um, wings. Man, you just, I just, you just, I'm honestly, I just standing in amazement. I'm just standing like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. And you can see it moving and you cannot, it is silent. But yet I heard when it come off so that little sound, he must have just come off the pole. And by the time he come off the pole, he was right over on top of me. Fast. If you saw the wingspan. Right. So you have a owl, and then you have a snake and serpent. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The owl closely linked to the moon's light, representing wisdom, mystery, and intuition. Snake serpent, due to shedding its skin, the snake is often connected to lunar cycle of rebirth, transformation, and immortality in various mythologies. The ibis, and the baboon, associated with Thoth, the Egyptian god of the moon, writing and wisdom. Thoth was often depicted with an ibis head or as a baboon, linking them to lunar knowledge. So it's fair for people to choose which one sounds more appealing. And I did compare the sun benefits to the moon benefits as well. Um, so we have sun benefits, yeah? It produces its own heat, full spectrum light and radiation. Moon benefits, reflective light, converts solar light into a soft, low intensity night illumination without scorching heat. Excuse me. So it's fair to say one can only be seen because of another. If the sun is not shining, you would not see any moon. The light reflecting off the moon is from the sun shining on the shining, illuminating the night sky. Well, which one would you choose? The sun or the moon? So we have from the sun vitamin D synthesis, triggers bone health, immune function, and serotonin, mood elevation. The moon, melatonin and rest. Low light signaling stimulates melatonin production for deep cellular repair. and sleep. So one is active and one is sleeping. Circadian rhythms. The sun sets the primary daily sleep wake cycle and daytime metabolic activity. You have the moon governs monthly biological timing, reproductive cycles, and hormonal shifts across marine life and terrestrial animals. And that is true because in Jamaica, when they got this book that they go by when they're planting, yeah. And for example, for myself, I wouldn't know such things, but they wouldn't put they don't put the seeds out in the moonlight. No, because the insects can see them and will devour them. They do them on the dark nights. Um, yeah. So you have the sun, daytime productivity, empowers diurnal animals with high visibility, foraging, hunting, and vision. Nocturnal navigation. Polarized moonlight acts as a compass for nocturnal insects like dung beetles and regulates predatory prey balance in the dark. Exactly what I just said, and I didn't read it. Exactly what I just was explaining about the farmers in Jamaica with the seeds. Now, energy production delivers the sun photosynthetically active radiation PAR required for biomass growth. The moon, gene expression and germination, subtle moonlight signals enhance cellular activity, sap movement, and seed germination timing. Key takeaways from what I just read. The sun represents expansion, activation, and structural energy. It provides the raw horsepower required for life to exist, produce food, and stay physically strong. The moon represents regulation, navigation, and environmental balance. Its light signals nocturnal life to feed or spawn, while its gravitational force stabilizes Earth's climate and moves the oceans. Jade Nupu, over and out. Goodbye.